Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Build a Complete Compliance Stack for Your Clients. This is for accessiBe partners. We're very excited to share this conversation with you today. My name is Sapir Yarden. I'm part of accessiBe's marketing department. It's important for me to clarify that today is not a product demo. It's really a business conversation. We've made sure that there's strategy and that we answer specific questions that affect our partners because we are familiar with working with you and we wanted to partner with the right organization on this as well. So everything that we cover today is going to be something you can take back to client conversations already this week. A few housekeeping notes. We are recording this webinar today. We will be addressing any questions in the chat, so feel free to share them there. Your questions are going to help others. And then anything that we can address after the webinar, we will make sure to do so. You'll have links and assets and everything. So I think with that, we'll get started. And what I'm really excited about is introducing our speakers today. Oh, I went back. So our speakers today are going to be Josh Basil, the Community Relations Manager at accessiBe, my longtime colleague. And he's also been recently, I don't know if he'll share this in a moment, but he's also recently been on the Forbes accessibility list for the second year in a row, which is amazing. And Grant McInnes, who's from Usercentrics, a senior partner manager, who's going to walk us through everything you need to know about the CookieBot consent management program. So we're really excited for this conversation. And as I mentioned, when we were looking at a partner for cookie consent management and for your privacy concerns or your clients' privacy concerns, it was important for us to find a partner that really understood the industry. So CookieBot has a very wide presence, has the right infrastructure, and has the motivation and willingness to really support accessiBe's partners today. Before we get into any technical aspects, I want to invite Josh to share a little bit more about why this conversation is really important for agencies like yours.
Thank you, Sapir. It's so happy to be here today and be on this journey with all of you. So, and Sapir shared a little bit about me, but my life into the disability world was flipped upside down about 22 years ago. I was on a family vacation at the beach. I was a college tennis player at 18, and a wave just picked me up in the ocean and slammed me headfirst against the ocean floor. And that day I shattered my neck and became paralyzed below my shoulders. And since then, I've been uh, relying on technology and helpful hands to really tackle my day. I ended up returning to school and then graduated magna cum laude from law school. Been a practicing trial attorney since 2013 and joined the accessiBe family 5 years ago and been the community relations manager ever since. And just love being on this journey to make the internet more accessible and also to learn about the best practices and what to do around all other aspects of the internet and within our businesses and digital space. And I really want to echo what Spear said already. So many of you have already helped your clients kind of help the first step with accessibility. You build that trust and you help them create a better experience for their users. And it's that relationship, the trust you've already earned, is the biggest asset you have right now. And today is really about kind of extending that relationship and continuing to create that value for your clients. So much of business readiness is about preparing for what's next and not just responding of what's in front of you today. And that's true in your own business, and that's true for your clients. So I work in compliance and accessibility every day. As a lawyer, I've seen kind of what happens when businesses want to wait until like an issue becomes urgent, and that's not the time to do it. I've also seen when it looks like when organizations prepare early and build compliance into their strategy. And truly, there's a significant difference between these two. I've watched accessibility evolve from something that was considered as a best practice in ban letters, litigation, and eventually something that became an expectation. And I've been there for that entire journey. So the organizations that got ahead and built a trust, reduced risk, and avoided spending money reacted to problems later. And the organizations that waited often found themselves trying to catch up. And with that, privacy compliance is kind of following a very similar path. It's not something that's coming in the future. It's already here. More than 20 states have active privacy laws. Enforcement is increasing. Customer expectations are increasing, and businesses are being asked questions about privacy that many of them aren't prepared to answer. So the question isn't whether privacy compliance matters. The question is whether your clients are prepared for what's already happening. And that's why we're having this kind of important conversation today. So we're going to talk about how to help your clients take that next step and kind of while creating new opportunities for your agency. But before we go further, I'd love to learn more about where you're at today. I want to do this through a poll that Sapir is going to launch.
Thanks, Josh. So before I share it, we're really interested in what your agency's top priorities are. Let me just get that set up for everyone. And the options are strengthening my accessibility offering, adding other compliance services beyond accessibility, growing recurring revenue, and hopefully all of the above is important to you. So we'll just give it another moment before I end the poll. If you haven't yet, please feel free to cast your vote, and I think we're good to go. So I'll end the poll now and share the results. So the majority of you are here because all of these reasons are important for you. I do like to see that there's also a balance between the accessibility offering, compliance services, and understanding that these are growth engines for your agency. Josh, Grant, any thoughts on this?
And I love seeing all the above. And kind of that's, we're going to be covering everything today to help kind of strengthen that accessibility offering and privacy offering and everything around compliance. So, and revenue generation. So this is awesome. I love seeing this. And I know I'm excited for Grant to dive into all the specifics and he's awesome. So I can't wait for everybody to hear from Grant.
Awesome. Off to you, Grant.
Okay, thanks guys for that brilliant start and introduction. And yeah, great to see the poll results and all of the above being the favorite. That's what we all like to see. So yeah, just a little bit about CookieBot, some numbers that we want to brag about, really, I guess. So we're currently being used by over 2.4 million websites globally, and you'll be joining if you decide to join us as a channel partner. After this call, you'll be joining approximately 6,000 other partners across the globe. Yeah, key benefits that we have is what's really been the backbone of our success is that we obviously help uh, agencies like yourselves help your clients become compliant with a multitude of privacy laws across the globe, and we've got ready-made templates to keep that simple for you. So from a compliance point of view, that's where we start from. Um, Takes a maximum of 15 minutes to get set up and get started, so there's no real excuses for putting this off. And as well as being compliant, as you're probably aware by if you're already, which I guess you're already using accessiBe's solutions, so you're seeing an increased engagement with your clients' websites, which would generally make the websites more profitable. We see on average a 20% ROAS uplift when putting our compliance CMP onto the site, building trust. So yeah, that's us. And yeah, just to put a little bit more picture emphasis on why it's so important with privacy compliance on websites. I mean, it used to be, I think when I started back in this business way back six and a half years ago, you would have seen you wouldn't have seen as many different data privacy acts on the US or the American side of the pond. It was very much a European thing to do, and GDPR was leading the privacy acts. But in the last 3, 4, 5 years, we're seeing new privacy acts springing up in the different states almost monthly. And so, it's very difficult to see the map of the states underneath all those different privacy laws, which we can help you and your clients with. Yeah. So just to put some dollars and cents on those privacy laws. Yeah, currently we're at 20 US state laws, and I guess that probably the next time we run this type of presentation, it will be even more, and there's more in the pipeline. And we're seeing California leading the charge with that. But it's not just the US state laws that US businesses have to comply with. I mean, the internet obviously is a global phenomena. So if your customers are somehow closing down their sites to the EU, then they're okay from the GDPR perspective. But it's also US businesses that have any kind of dealings with the EU will have to comply with the GDPR obligations as well. Um, just putting a cosmetic cookie banner isn't enough. I mean that's going to make it look good, but it's not actually going to make the website compliant. You have to have the website scanned on a regular basis to update the cookies and update the cookie banner to make the cookie banner legally compliant. And yeah, there's some rather large sums of money there from companies like Disney, Meta, and Sephora, who've been fined in the US. I don't know how many of your clients would be able to afford those types of numbers. I mean, I'm sure for some of those, it's maybe not a big issue, but for the majority of the clients that we help agencies protect, the types of fines and more probably important, the effect on brand reputation. You can't really put a price on that. Yeah, not just the adhering to the law and avoiding fines, as I alluded to earlier, um, with the with your experience in recommending accessiBe to your clients already, you will probably be well versed in the increased engagement when you actually make your sites more accessible. And we also see this when you make your clients' sites more trustworthy and make the whole consent experience a much more pleasant and trustworthy experience. You will generally see quite an increase in the amount of consents, which in turn means you are getting better, you helping your clients get better data, better visibility on the ads, and see where the ad attribution is, which ads are driving conversions. So you're actually getting a real ROI on putting the your clients' website visitors' privacy as a priority. So yeah, it makes every dollar that you spend on ads more effective by having a consent layer underneath it. Yeah, and it's basically plug and play. If you want to use some of our ready-made compliant templates, as which you can see um, some of the types of templates we have going around on the right-hand side there, then you can get this up and running within 15 minutes. What we generally see is the more customizable you make the experience and the more like the experience of the customer's own website you make it, the more trust you build and the more consents you will get and the more data you will get on the site. But yeah, to get it up and running very simply, it's just get put the domain in the in our UI, get the first scan done, choose the banner template, and then set the scripts in the website head tag, and you're done, ready to go. Get started in collecting your first consents. And then from a partnership viewpoint, obviously you're the main benefit you're doing is making sure that your customers stay on the right side of the law, and that you're making sure that they get the most value out of their website. But on top of that, we have two models when you become a CookieBot partner. There's no threshold, so you can get started straight away. There's no minimum commitment. And both of these models can be combined on the same account. So what I normally say is you can choose your model based on the relationship you have with that particular customer. So on the left-hand side, we have the wholesale model, which is what we call it. I would say it's more of it's basically a traditional reseller model. You, as the partner, buy the licenses from CookieBot at a 20% discount off the list price, and you manage the whole consent management piece for for and on behalf of your customer. The customer has no access at all to the solution, and then you get a bill at the end of the month, itemized bill per domain, showing you exactly how much you're paying for each particular customer, so you can then pass that cost on to your customer, or put it in as a line item in their monthly service fee. However you want to do it, you have it your way. And then on the right hand side, we referral model. You would have your own referral link, and you would refer customers to CookieBot Usercentrics. We do the invoicing, and we pay you a 40% admin fee, basically another word, a Scandinavian word for commission. And we pay that for out to you for the first 3 years, and then a 20% commission for the lifetime of the contract thereafter. And in this particular model, the customer gets their own UI, but you would also have access to that UI to be able to assist your customer with the setup and any reporting, configurations, customizations, and so you'd have your own reseller portal where you would still be able to manage service and support those customers. And as part of celebrating this new collaboration we have with our newfound friends from accessiBe, we've agreed to give an additional 20% discount for 3 months on the retail model option.
Grant, thank you so much for that presentation. I think we have some questions for you, and this is from knowing our partners and sort of what matters to you. Josh, do you want to take this part?
So I hear so often, Grant, that our accessible partners they've never sold a consent management solution before, and they kind of want to know what's the simplest way to kind of start that conversation off with their clients.
Yeah, I mean, most of our partners are not dedicated consent management partners. Their core business is I don't know, in 95% of cases is something else. The accessiBe partners will be joining a like-minded crew, for want of a better phrase. And one of the best ways to start that conversation, I would say, is on our website, cookiebot.com, and I'm sure we can share that with everybody on the call at the end. There is a scan. There's a place on the where you can put in the client's website or websites, and arrange for a free what we call compliance scan report. So normally within a few hours, maximum 24 hours, you would get you'll be presented, your client will be presented with a quite detailed compliance report. And if everything is okay on their site, then it will be showing with green tick boxes next to each compliance point. If there are any points where there could be improvements. The report suggests those improvements, and I would suggest that you go through that together with your client, and then the next stage in that conversation would normally be to start a 14-day free trial. So we offer a 14-day free trial to all new prospects, and there's no obligation um, to turn that into a paid account. So we are still in our, due to probably our Scandinavian roots, we don't automatically convert it to a paid account after 14 days. If the client doesn't do anything, then it just drops off to not being there's no bill to be paid at the end of 14 days, but we see a really high success rate. So within that, normally within the first week of that trial period, the client will activate it to a fully paid up account themselves.
I like that, and that's really helpful for sharing all that. Thank you, Grant. And another one of the most common questions that we get is, what do you tell clients who believe they're already covered because they have a basic cookie banner on their website?
Yeah, I would tell them of course, well, I would tell them, of course, that if they just have a basic cookie banner, which isn't connected to any kind of scanning tool in the background, then this is basically a cosmetic only. It's not respecting any kind of consent. So again, I would go back and to the answer to the previous question, I would recommend that they take the compliance test, run that through their site, which again will highlight any weaknesses, and then they can always try the free trial, or if they've already taken the step to have a basic cookie banner and then find out that it's not really doing the job, then they'll probably be more inclined to just go straight onto a paid plan because they've already seen the value in having a cookie banner on their site. Well, why not have one that scans the site automatically once a month and automatically pre-populates the cookie banner, so it's kind of like set it and forget it once you've set it up. After the 15 minutes, the scan will automatically scan every month and make sure that the banner's populated with any new cookies or any other trackers that have been added since the last scan, and also take away any that have been um taken away since the last scan. So this really is like foolproof.
Thank you, Grant.
I think
Thank you.
one of the interesting things that you shared, Grant, is that we're seeing these privacy laws coming up, and you mentioned California, for example, is a state to be paying attention to. So with CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act, they actually have WCAG, which is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines stipulations inside of that with fines that are, I don't recall the exact number. I can pull up a blog about it, but somewhere in the thousands per violation. So is that something that you've seen in other privacy policies, not just in California?
Yeah, I mean, we see Virginia has one. I know Colorado has one as well. So yeah, this is becoming it's spreading. As I say, a few years ago, I think California was the outlier on in the States, but now they're springing up. Yeah, yeah, there's multiple acts coming up every year. So yeah, I don't think it seems to be only going one way. I mean, as I say, when I started 5 or 6 years ago, there was only the one in the US, that was California, and now it's yeah,
Coast to
you
coast.
could hardly you could hardly see you could hardly see the US under all the acts on the map that we showed earlier. So yeah, I don't
Everyone
know
has
what we're
to
gonna
have their
do.
say.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do when there comes more. So yeah.
Well, another thing that you mentioned was the set it and forget it policy. And, it's important to get started, but then once you have it running and it's automated, it gives you the sort of peace of mind that you and your clients are protected. But I think something that we often forget with set it and forget it is that you have to first be proactive enough to do it. Going back to Josh's point earlier, where these conversations end up happening when things are going wrong and not before. And I'm hoping that everyone who's here today has really taken an opportunity to say, okay, where can I come back to my clients and say, this is a good time to get this conversation started. We do have an
Being,
audience question, and Josh, I actually think this would be a good one for you to answer because it gets back to my point. How can privacy and accessibility compliance support each other?
but they work side by side with each other. Um, so much of accessibility is being able to create better user experiences for anybody that comes to your site. And if they get to your site and they can't use it, then they're going to be in trouble and they're not going to be able to have a good experience. And when it comes to the privacy side of cookies, if they're not able to access it, they're not going to be able to answer the question properly. Or if the question being answered around privacy is not formatted properly, there's going to be a huge population that are going to be stuck at that or not going to be able to allow you to follow the compliance. So whether you're using accessibility tools like me with a keyboard, with voice dictation software, or if you have somebody that is blind or low vision that uses screen reader, you need to make sure that the accessibility is built in so that they can also access the compliance side. So it's just, you have to have both.
And you and I have both heard about different stories of CAPTCHAs and other cookie consents that are not accessible, and then you have someone who's stuck only on that. So we're really proud to have worked with Usercentrics on making sure that this is a good fit.
But both of these things together create better experiences and better protections for businesses going forward. And it's something that, as you get more comfortable with it, it just gets built into your system, and it's going to be the best practice going forward for yourself, for your businesses, for your clients, and to avoid those compliance issues that can come at any moment. But having this and having it well documented, it protects you.
Thanks, Josh. So we have one more poll for you today, which is, are you currently offering consent management to your clients? This is anonymous, do not worry, but we are interested to see where everyone stands today. So we're looking forward to your answers, and I'm going to launch the poll now. So the answers are yes, we have something in place. No, but we've been asked about it. We don't have an answer. No, it hasn't come up yet. And last but not least, we're actively looking for a solution, in which case you've come to the right place. So we'll just give it a few more seconds to allow everyone to participate. We'll give it another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm ending the poll now. I'm going to share the results. So interesting that most people on the call today do have something in place, but they're still interested in hearing about CookieBot. So, Grant, what is your reaction to seeing the results here?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that there was some that answered no, it hasn't come up yet. Particularly being this audience where there's a where you're already involved in compliance for accessibility. So that was the one that surprised me. But yeah, I can understand that if you already have something in place, that it's nice to find out about somebody that a vendor that works with a trusted partner that you already have, and yeah, that we can make it hopefully make it even simpler than the solution you've got in place at the moment.
I'm not sure if I shared the results before, so I'm sharing them now, and I will stop share. Okay. So I think we've come to the point in our conversation where we're open for questions. So feel free to add them in the chat or the Q&A box. We'll be monitoring those. But for the next few minutes, uh, Josh, are there any takeaways that you want to share or anything that you learned? I know that we're not necessarily you and I aren't necessarily in the cookie management space, so I thought this was a very interesting conversation.
The three big takeaways is simple. The first one is privacy compliance is following a very similar path to accessibility. So the time to get prepared is before the client asks, not after. I think that's one we all can agree with. And second, you don't need to have an entirely new sales pitch around this. You just kind of have to add it with what you're already kind of pitching around accessibility and add kind of one more sentence to that conversation. And the last thing that I think is really important is the CookieBot Partner Program. It's available today. Use it. It's here. It's trusted. It's used by millions. It's for me, it's a no-brainer to be able to add to your offerings to have better experiences for your clients. And it's going to provide not only recurring commission opportunities and kind of this exclusive pricing that's being presented here, and kind of a single partner relationship through kind of the accessiBe and user-centric kind of partnership. So yeah, for me, it's an easy push ask of you, and let's get started. Let's do it today. And I always say this to everybody. I just love being on this journey with you, and adding in user-centrics. Yeah, this is a great fit.
Thanks, Josh. I love being on this journey with you too. I'm putting the link to our partner page. Oh, I put the wrong link, but I will copy and enter. In the chat, you will find our landing page with user-centric, so you have access to information. You can start a free trial directly from there. Um, this has been fantastic. We hope that this was a value add for our partners, for the web agencies that we work with. If you have any feedback for us, please feel free to share it with your reps. They'll be following up with you with the recording. And we're also going to be doing another partner webinar over the summer. So stay tuned, and we're excited to see you then.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Sophia, and thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.